So I have this tank here. I set this up about a month ago now, and I put some livestock in after 2 weeks. It's a dirted tank with a sand cap on it. I do all my tanks that way. I find that for me, that just works extremely well. So you know, I've got it pretty perfected now. Let's say I have the soil in my garage in a bag. You know, I buy sand as I need it. I usually just go get some filter sand or play sand or what have you. I buy some decorative stone from a Petco, or I find stone at Home Depot or Lowe's. And as I come across things I like, I'll purchase it and stick it in my garage and shelve it. So I do that. I go online on Amazon, and I'll buy driftwood, different kinds, different types. I'll collect driftwood. I have it around my house, in front, and on the tables I have the tanks on, let's say. And this one I happen to have just a couple decorative stones in front of it. In front of each one of these tanks there's 3. You can't see the other 2 really. I have plants that grow on top. I have floating plants to pull nutrients out. I have a plastic black container. I use black backgrounds because I can put the filters in and you can't see them. Any lighting, I try to always make sure it's black. Black plastic plant holders that I put in, all white rooted. I always just say white rooted plants. I have all different kinds. The white rooted plants seem to do really well. They suck a lot of nutrients out as well. They grow very well. They stay very healthy. I'll feature each one of the 3 tanks here. But again, this is about a month old, and I have a small little filter on it. And it's staying crystal clear, very clear. And it had its bacterial bloom in the first week or so, and then it slowly started to diminish. I have epiphytes in here. I have stem plants in here. You can see the layout. You can see the plants. I have some Java moss that I've tied to the driftwood, as well as I tied some epiphytes to the driftwood. And I put in these red wagtail platies, and I have 3 green, very small. They were very small, but I really liked. I haven't seen them anywhere before, so I purchased them. 3 emerald green corridoras, and you can see I have ram's horn snails and some miracle snails. Mystery snails. Yeah, I always call them miracle snails. I don't know why, but I just confuse it with mystery snail, whichever one it is. I have them. I actually have a pond out front of my house, and I had put the snails in there, and almost right away they were breeding. I dropped in, I think, like 6 snails, mystery snails, and within no time there were eggs stuck to the side of the pond or up on a plant that was growing out of the water. And I took the egg sacs and put them in a container, kept them outside in my entranceway, just put them underneath a vase I have out there on a stand, and just let them sit there. I kept them out of the water. I put holes in the top of a small container and just let them stay in there so it stayed nice and humid. I'm in Florida, South Florida, so the conditions are pretty good for tropical fish in your outdoor pond. These snails, so many things do well here. I do have some koi and some goldfish in my pond. I'm trying to find someone to rescue them. I want to get them out of there. They're too big, and the bio load is just exceptional. I'd like to put in some colorful tropical fish, and I'd like to feature that at some point when I do. And I have floating plants in the pond. But here's this tank, again, a month old. Plants, rooted plants in a plastic container, taking nutrients out, epiphytes, stem plants, little red, little green. I like it. It's pretty. I thought I'd feature it. I like the light. It has red, blue, and white. And I'm hoping that I can get some red out of some plants. I'm having difficulty keeping red plants red. But they seem to do, the closer they get to the light, of course, the better they do. So I need stronger lights, I guess, because of the depth of the water. The other tanks I have are all 14-gallon cubes. This is a 6-gallon cube. And working well. So here it is. Simple to build. Takes me typically, I don't know, maybe a couple hours, 3 hours, depends on the gluing and the positioning, and get it quick. Oh, and there's one nice stone in there. I do go to a rock quarry, or a facility here in Florida that a nursery that sells a lot of rock, and they have huge containers around. They have all kinds of rock in it. They have some debris rock, they have some broken rock, but there's a particular rock that I like. It's very porous, and it will bubble, pearl for a long time when I stick it in the water. But it's a nice little stone, and I have that attached. I don't like to use glue. I've mentioned that in some of my other videos that I've done. I do boil the driftwood. I have a video on that. If you look at some of my other videos, you'll see that. Boil driftwood, boil wood, and add epiphytes. I like to boil it so it sinks, keeps it heavy. Then they'll eventually all sink, but initially a lot of driftwood that you buy has been dry for so long it'll float. So if you boil it and then let it cool off slowly in that boiled water, it absorbs a lot of water, and it gets heavy and will sink. So I like to be able to sometimes just change the layout of the landscape, the aquascape. So the one piece in here is glued because it wouldn't stay if I didn't. And the other two long ones that are sticking out of the water a little bit, you can't see that, unfortunately, because of the way I zoomed in on this tank. I can zoom out a little bit here so you can see the whole thing. You will start to see some of the other tanks, but the light, starts to hurt the video quality. But some of the wood is sticking out the top, and I like to be able to move the wood around. So I don't really like to glue wherever I can avoid doing that. So you can change, you can make changes. Sometimes you don't like your aquascape. Sometimes you want to change it down the road. You may look at it for a month and say, I really love it. And then 2 months, 3 months down the road, you're like, I just want to change. So you can move the driftwood around. And if you think about it in nature, you may have a flood, you may have heavy rains, you may have a drought, you may have whatever. Driftwood that is in riverbeds or on the bottom of streams or creeks or what have you, it's going to move. So sometimes it's nice just to keep making changes. So here's this tank again with the red wag in it. I want to zoom back in on it. Oops, a little too much. That's okay. We'll make an adjustment here. I'm not using my handheld zoom device. I probably should be, but I'm not out in front of the video. I'm behind it, and I think that only works when I'm out in front. Works best when I'm out in front. But here it is, the red wag tank, month old. It's soil and sand capped, and looking pretty good. Very simple and low maintenance. I will eventually take the filter out of this, and this will self-sustain. Again, Rich Aquatics, and good to see everyone. We'd like to hear from you. Leave some comments. Please subscribe. Click notifications, and I will be doing more videos. Till then.